Hey everyone, just wanted to give you an update on what we're doing today. So today I'm going to be starting to remove the existing K-member, steering shaft, steering rack, a little bit of the suspension stuff, because I have this complete LS1 setup over here. Now you can see they did a couple things that I'm not a huge fan of. You can see they just cut the brake lines. But other than that, this should be a pretty easy drop-in setup. I am going to keep these brakes. These are the bigger LS1 brakes, so I'm going to retain those, as well as the sway bar. I think is the same as what was on it. I think all the Z28s came with a 30 millimeter front, but this one's in a little better shape. So first step, back over to here. I think it's probably just going to be to unhook the brakes, probably take the wheels off, and undo the steering knuckle and everything before I unbolt the K-member. So I'll give you guys an update here once I get rolling on that. Hey everyone, back working on the 96 Z28 today. Main goals for today are going to be to undo the brake lines so we can drop the LT1 K-member and then put the LS1 K-member back in and reconnect the brake lines, put the motor mounts on, and be ready to drop in the 5.3. So I'm going to take you through where we're at right now. So I have the majority of the bolts out. Suspension's all loose at the top here, and have the sway bar loose. Got to get my wiring harness out of the way here. But for the most part here, we're ready to drop this as soon as I get these brake lines undone. So I'm going to go ahead and take you guys through that. Alright, so first things first here, I'm going to go ahead and try to get all the wiring up out of the way. Need a little leverage on it here, so there we go. See how much of a mess this makes. That just rounded the shit out of that. so I'm gonna call it a night here, I think. You see here, K-member is all loose, brake lines are all loose, ABS is out. I'm just letting these lines drip overnight here so I don't get brake fluid everywhere. Still trying to figure out how I'm gonna drag this thing out from under here, but guess I'll figure that out tomorrow. All right. All right, everyone. So quick update. Working on the car tonight. Got the K-member back in. Did have a few small issues with that, so I thought I'd just give a few pointers. On these K-members, there's basically a tapered dowel pin up in here between these front two bolts. I had issues getting those to line up, so what I ended up doing is putting in all 6 bolts loose and then putting the jack under the center of the K-member so I could kind of push it around with that. So it's a combination of that and you know, just hammered it into place. But the K-member's in place. I have all the bolts loose again so that I can get these coilovers in here. I'm not sure what the correct way to do this is, but the way that I did it is I dropped the K-member down maybe an inch or so. Still had all the bolts engaged. Then I was able to swing all this up, kind of assembled, and get my my studs through up here. So bolt those down, put my other bolts in for there, and I have the other side to do, obviously. But all in all, not terrible. Just a quick pointer on the way to do that. Need to get some bolts for the motor mounts still. Hopefully I can get those in here sometime in the next week. I gotta get the steering shaft on. Not 100% sure what the best way to do that is, but anyway, did that. Deleted the ABS. I think I may just end up going with just a basic proportioning valve for that. This car was just a 3-channel car anyway, so it never had traction control, just the ABS. But so I'm just gonna get rid of that. I'm trying to think what else we got going on here. Trying to figure out where I want to put the oil drains at on the front of this motor. Would kind of like to get it in the car and mock the turbos up maybe, and then just pull the front cover. I think that's probably how I'll do that. But for the most part, we're coming along. You can see I've got a bunch of parts everywhere here. But